Hey everyone, Reaper here again with another video. This time it is a tag video that was set into the community by Dat Comics, Russell. Basically you have to show off 5 comic books in your collection that you could never get rid of, and Russell tagged me and 4 others, and I will tag 5 people at the end of this video too. Russell, thank you first and foremost. Thank you for tagging me. Thank you for thinking of me. And it was really, it was really fun to think about this video. And it's some books I knew right off from the top of my head that I can never get rid of. Unfortunately, though, I've been doing this for the last month now, teasing that August book I'm going to show off. That would be one of the top 5. That would be the #1 book that I would never get rid of. Unfortunately, I'm not going to show it in this video. Like I said, I'm not showing that book until August. But know that if I had shown that book in the last haul, it would be #1. So that leaves me with the other 5 here that I picked out that I'm going to show. And I'll talk a little bit about them on why I would never replace them. But first, let me say these books here that I'm about to show, they will always be in my collection, but like what Russell said in his video, they'll probably be upgraded in time. So I'll probably sell these books off to get higher grades down the line. But the actual book I will never, well, it's not necessarily the actual book per se. It's the fact that I will always have to have one of these books in my collection. Either if I could get them in higher grade, or I'll keep these particular copies. I will always have a copy of the books that I'm about to show you. Books that I could never get rid of. Like, well, one day I'll sell this book off, and if I get it again, I'll get it again. No, these books, these issues, I will have to have in my collection in some form or another down the line. So let's get started with number 5, which would be number 6 if I was showing that other book, which I'm not. Incredible Hulk 181. Now this is a 6.0 blue label. Like I said, I will always have an Incredible Hulk 181 in my collection. This goes back to 1994. Not necessarily this copy. I have upgraded this copy. I originally, back in 1994, for those that remember my history of comic book collecting, 1994, I had purchased my copy of Incredible Hulk 181 for $180. From a guy in Canada who neglected to tell me that it was missing the Marvel stamp. For me, everyone has their pet peeve when it comes to comic book collecting. I have mine. I have a couple of them. Obviously, Rusty Staples being #1, I don't mess around with. And 2, I don't like to have anything missing from the book. Entire pages, coupons, whatever. Even if it doesn't interfere with the story, I don't like having. I'm not going to pay a premium for something that's missing a page or a coupon. It's not complete. So that's why I got rid of it, and I upgraded it to this copy right here. Actually, I had a higher grade at 1.2, but I sold that one. One day, I see myself maybe getting a 7.5 or an 8.0. I'll sell this copy off. But like I said, I will always have to have an Incredible Hulk 181 in my collection. Wolverine was a very important character to me, my favorite X-Men. When I first started collecting, I was big into X-Men before I went to Spider-Man, and Wolverine was the character that resonated with me the most. And back then, just as it is today, having an Incredible Hulk 181 is very special. So that's number 5. Number 4 is another book I got 2 months before I got the Incredible Hulk 181 from 1994. Amazing Spider-Man number 129. This is a high-grade copy of the first appearance of the Punisher, and it was the first major purchase I made when it came to collecting comics. Usually, the most I spent on a comic book, me, and my own money, was probably like $20, but usually it was under that. This was the first time I actually spent more than $20. So it holds a level of importance to me, a lot of significance in my collection. Like I said, I was lucky to get a high-grade copy. It's probably an 8.5, 9.0 on a good day. But yeah, it's an absolutely great, fantastic book. And like with the Incredible Hulk, it does have a Marvel stamp inside, untouched or unclipped. Will I upgrade this book? I doubt it. You know, I'm eventually going to get it slabbed. If it comes back lower, which I don't think it will, lower than an 8.5, I might want to upgrade it down the line. Or not, depends. Recent purchase, well, it's not really recent. It showed up in a recent haul in December, but I've had this book for a year now, and this is definitely a book that I would like to upgrade in the future, but definitely a book I would like to always have in my collection, and it is Fantastic Four #1. It's a low-grade copy, maybe a 1.5. It's got it's missing a piece on top here. You can't really see it. That's why it's so close to the F. But yeah, it's got its issues, but I'm very happy to have it. If I would like to upgrade it in the future. If I can, great. If I can't, I'm happy with this. It's just I'm very fortunate that I have this in my collection. But Fantastic Four #1, definitely one of the books that I would always love to keep in my comic collection. While other books, I'm trying to, get rid of some books. I'm trying to sell off some books, just to, trim down the collection, because I really don't need, let's see, let me count here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 long boxes. Got to cut that down. But these books here, and there are many others too, especially in the ones I put in my BCW small boxes, the review I did a couple weeks ago on that product, and several others that I would never get rid of. But, yeah. Here's a recent purchase. One that I would like to upgrade maybe down the line. If I can't, that's no big deal. So this is number 2, the second book. That is one book that I would love to always have in my collection. The Incredible Hulk, #1. It's become a cliche for me to say, oh, I never thought I would get this book. I never thought, I've said that so many times, and I really should stop saying it and start saying never say never. Because what I have to show in August is something I also said I thought I'd never get. So never say never. You put your mind to it, you can get what you want. Sometimes you have to make sacrifice. Sometimes you have to do a number of different things to make that happen. And, you make it happen. And this was one of those cases. To have the first appearance of the Hulk is fantastic for me. Well, it's incredible, rather. Fantastic was the last book. But it really is something, It's not something that I ever toyed with, I never toyed with the idea of getting the first appearance of the Hulk, because I always thought it was, out of my reach. 1.5's Blue Label. They go for an insane amount of money. They really do. Some people might think that the Hulk is more affordable than an Amazing Fantasy, and it is. But it's not. It's still a very, very expensive book at a very, very low grade too. So you have to keep that in mind. Mine is restored. The book I'm showing in August is not restored, but this one's restored. And for what I got it, for the price I paid, I said, sure, why not? But yeah, maybe one day if the opportunity presents itself, as the opportunity presented itself for me to purchase this book to begin with, I might upgrade it. But definitely, once I have an Incredible Hulk in my collection, I could never do without it. So if I sell this book, I must be on the hunt to get a better copy. And the last book, probably some of you may already know what this one is. Detective Comics 140. Of course, we've seen this book in almost every other video I make. Yeah, but it's now going to be runner-up come August. So, but I like my copy. This is one of 2 restored books that I know of that are in my collection. I got rid of the other restored books recently. But this is one of 2. You saw the first one, which is The Incredible Hulk, and now you see this one. Restored books in my collection. It has a slight restoration, minor glue on the cover. Maybe I'll have the restoration removed one day, or maybe I'll just upgrade this to a Blue Label one day, but we'll see. But once again, I could never do without the Riddler in my collection. My favorite villain of all time. especially my favorite, favorite Batman villain. It's really a privilege to have this book in my collection. A book that I've always admired from afar until I was able to finally make it happen and bring it home in my collection, where it holds a very, very high rank among all my other books. So yeah, it's really, really a privilege to have a book like this. Any of those Golden Age Batmans, if you have one in any condition, they're always cool to have. They really are. That's the '66 show that featured the Riddler and the Penguin and Mr. Freeze in very, very dominant roles. It really brought those characters to pop culture, and that's why I think some of those characters are kind of, they don't suffer the loss that other villain characters do when it comes to value on books. Like Ra's al Ghul could be up and down, up and down. Usually characters like the Riddler and the Penguin, they're usually very expensive in any grade, and they usually hold their value. Sometimes they stay for a while, and sometimes they slowly creep up, but it's largely because I think that they were put into pop culture with the Batman '66 show. It's a very iconic show, and that's why. But that's how I was introduced to the Riddler. I wasn't around in the '60s or in the '70s to really watch the show when it was in rerun. I didn't start catching it until the Batman '89 movie, when they started putting it in rerun, and it helped cement it into pop culture, like I said, to a newer generation that still follow it today. So those are my top five. Top five books that I could never get rid of. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't mind upgrading them, but I will always have an Incredible Hulk 1 in my collection. I would never just get rid of it and say, to hell with it. If I'm getting rid of this copy, it's because I'm on the hunt for another copy. And same for all the others that I showed. So thank you once again, Who Dat Russell, for sending this tag out into the community. It was a lot of fun. I like tags like this, show us your top five covers, or your top five first appearances, or top five books that you never get rid of. I think it's top five books you'd like to see GC, all that sort of stuff. I really enjoy doing videos like that. So thank you again for thinking of me and tagging me. Now it's time for me to tag 5 people. I have them in my head, but let me just double check I have my notes, as I always do. And I'm going to use these notes for the next video I'm going to make in a few minutes. So the 5 people in the community that I'm tagging to keep this tag alive for a while longer, to show 5 books in your collection that you would never get rid of, or you would always have and might want to upgrade down the line, but you would always have them in your collection. Number 1, I tag Luther Manning. I would love to see what he would consider always wanting to keep in his collection, Patrick. I tag Creature. I don't think he's made a video in a few weeks, but Creature, love to see your top 5 books that you would always want in your collection. Russell, Batcave Comics 83, my friend from England. Please, I'd like to see what you have. You got some nice books. I know you got some nice Golden Age. I'm pretty sure you would want to keep in your collection forever, so show us. Show the community. QB Comic Addict. I know you got some gems recently that you haven't made a video for, so you may not want to show them off, but your collection, I think, is really, really good. I like your videos. I like your comic collecting, and I would love to see what top 5 you would like to always keep in your collection. And the same for Kyle Rowe. I would love to see what you would like to keep in your collection, Kyle. So please, when you can, make the video, excuse me. I would love to really watch it. I'm sure so many others in the community would like to see what you really like to keep in your collection for the long run. Thank you all for watching. I'm going to make a couple other videos while I have the time. Today we had a snowstorm, a nor'easter coming through the eastern seaboard, so I have the time to make these videos because since I work for the state, no work today. All right, everyone. Thank you for watching, and take care. Bye-bye.